Good morning. Can you guys all see me okay? Can one of you go ahead and put a note in the comments, please, that you can see and hear me okay? And then we will go ahead and get started. No one? No one still? Okay, thank you, Patricia. Patricia says, I can hear you. Lauren says, good morning. Good morning. Good morning, you guys. I'm so glad you guys are able to join me this morning. I did have a little bit of a mix up with the time. I had originally thought I scheduled this for 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, but then I noticed that I put 11:25. So this morning I had to go in and correct that and start a little bit earlier. So I apologize for those of you who might have seen the difference in those two times. But Happy New Year to you all. I hope you guys all had a beautiful Christmas and New Year. And I hope the new year is going well for you all. Joan says, hi from Denmark. I can hear you too. Thank you very much, Joan. Hello. Yolanda says, hello. Love Disney Dog says, hi. Hello, hello, hello to you all. Um, I have a number of different things that I wanted to discuss with you guys today for this particular live stream. But one of the questions I do want to hear from you guys. So, one of the things that I wanted to throw out there now, while I'm going through some other things that you guys can think about and give some feedback to, is what worked for you this year when you were putting your village together? And what were areas of difficulty that you felt that you had that you could use some feedback on? Or different ideas in how to handle those things, so that maybe between me and the rest of the group, we can help make that transition for this year's Christmas Village a little bit easier. Um, I want to let you guys know. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Um, Really quick before we get started, my reps information for Hotwire Foam Factory. For those of you who want to purchase tools for the builds that you have coming up or add to your tool supply kit, I do have a rep. I don't get paid, or there is no kickbacks or anything like that, but I do have a rep that I work with at Hotwire Foam Factory. Her name is Pat. Her phone number is 443 454 6554. And I will also put that in the comments for those of you who want to just go back and check that later. 6554. Okay. And then for those of you who also still might be interested in purchasing the carousel riders for the Limax Grand Carousel, Robin still can take orders for those, and his email is redbird254@yahoo.com. And I just added that to the comments as well. And then one of the biggest questions that I am still getting all of the time, and I love that you guys are paying attention and noticing all those little things. I get a lot of questions about, where are you finding all of your figurines? You have figurines that I've never seen before, or moving pieces that I've never seen before. Those are all purchased from ehobbytools.com. And I will go ahead and put that in the comments as well. And that's for Limax products. They sell all Limax products, but all of my figurines, not all, but probably a good 95% of my figurines are Limax. Some of the ethnic figurines that you may see, some of them I did hand paint myself. Um, but for those of you who have this question as well, if you go to ehobbytools.com and under the search engine, type in ethnic, it will pull up an entire list of all of the ethnic figurines that they do offer. And just to let you guys know, if there are things of any kind that you're not seeing in like your local Michaels or things like that, that also sell Lemax products, it's because not every supplier decides to buy the entire line of what Lemax makes every year. What I can tell you is Michaels, I know Michaels does not. Unfortunately, they do not sell the entire line. They purchase a very limited amount for throughout a lot of their stores. But ehobbytools.com actually does purchase um, everything that Max makes new every year to sell to the public. So that's why sometimes you'll see things like, well, where did you find this? And I wasn't able to find this in my local store. It's up to the supplier to decide which figurines and buildings and accessories that they want to purchase to sell. And some of them don't sell everything. And also, some of them choose not to purchase any ethnic figurines to sell. So you can also find those everything, the entire line on ehobbytools.com. So let me get back to some of the comments here and see if we have any more. Pat is on the line with us, you guys, this morning. Pat just rang in. And so if you have any questions on tools, start off your comment and just say, hey, Pat, and then ask her questions. She's super knowledgeable. She can really answer a lot of your questions that you may have regarding which tools to buy, what's a good starter kit for someone who's just getting started. She can put different kits together for you guys and offer a lot of good advice. Not only does she sell these products, you guys, but she's a villager too. So she started off doing using these products for her own villages and wanting to create her own hot wire at one point for her own builds, recognizing the need. So she definitely thinks like a villager to be able to help you out in a number of different ways and different products or projects that you might be attempting for this year. Okay. Robin said, I thought you started at 1:25 p.m. I know. I actually talked about that when I first jumped on because I don't know why the system said 11:25 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. It was supposed to be 11 a.m. So I do apologize for that time difference because I did go on and change it first thing this morning with the hopes that it would notify all of you so that you would see that change on time. But I know that there's going to be a delay with some folks who had already had it on their schedules to start at 11:25 Mountain Standard Time. So I'm sorry for that. Let's see. Love Disney Doc says, silly question, but does eHobby Tools sell Christmas things all year? Oh my gosh, yes, they do. So whatever they have in stock, they will also go ahead and ship it out. You don't have to wait until Christmas time. It's not a silly question at all, by the way. Um, and if it is in stock, they will ship it out. I know later on in the year when they're waiting on their new line to get shipped out to them, which is usually like July, when they're going to get the 2022 line, they usually get it like the end of July, early August. So they will start to make reservations for certain items that they do not have in stock yet. So this past year, because of all of the shipping delays in the ports and everything like that, I did try to give you guys a heads up that if you see something online that you want, order it right away because there just was no guarantee that you were going to be able to get that product at a later time. So make the reservation for it. And it ended up happening to so many people. The items were sold out. I got a lot of feedback for 2021. Certain people weren't able to get the items that they needed. And then there were issues with only being able to order one thing at a time because of the limited inventory and the demand that everyone had. So if you are able to get some of those things this time of year when not everyone else is shopping for it, I would actually highly recommend doing that, because then you're not competing with the rest of the Christmas market and you can actually get what you want. I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything this early yet if they're expecting the same type of delays or limited inventory. So as I continue to hear those things, I will definitely communicate that with you guys so you know in advance, if you need to be purchasing things sooner rather than later. But with the state of how we can see everything going on, we still do have delays with shipping as well as things being held up at our port. So I would just err on the side of caution and go ahead and get the things that I want and need for this coming year's village as soon as I am able. So I hope that helps. Let's see. Lauren says the scale of figurines compared to the buildings can drive me crazy sometimes. I know because sometimes they're just as tall, like so on some of the houses, the entryway into the actual house, like the figurine is actually as tall as like the first level of a two-story house sometimes. I totally get what you're saying with that. And I do wish that they would either make the buildings a little bit taller or make the figurines a little bit smaller, but that's just an issue I think that we're all like kind of in the same boat about because it's very difficult to find figurines from the big makers anyway that will actually make them more appropriately to scale. So one other note that I want to make, and I want to actually send an apology out because for the O Little Town category, I actually announced the wrong second place winner. Now there was no prize for second place, just for first place, but getting that right was still very important to me. And I actually messed up. I gave the right contestant number, but I linked the wrong contestant name with it. So the winner was contestant number 21, Veronica Weaver, was actually the second place winner. And she was the one who did the nativity scene, for those of you who remember looking at that video. Um, so, Veronica, you actually won second place for the O Little Town category. I do apologize that I got that incorrect. The winner that I actually announced as the second place winner was the one who brought it to my attention because she realized I said the right contestant number, but the wrong name. So thank you to Trina for definitely pointing that out to me because she wanted to make sure that you got the recognition that you deserved for winning. And so please accept my apology on that. And of course, I will try to make sure that those types of errors don't happen going forward. Um, let's see. You are very welcome, Ronnie. I'm so glad you're on this morning and you were able to hear that because your scene was actually so beautiful. And actually, one of the judges who was judging, it was the only perfect score that this particular judge gave on any village across the board. So that really does say a lot with all like how you were able to move that judge with your entry with all of the hard work you put into that scene and just especially how much everything was handmade and how special you made it. So congratulations. Love Disney Dog says, sorry I didn't get to finish my village and to film it. Oh, and join it. Okay. But I loved seeing everyone's videos. Thanks for sharing. And Trina says, hi, Miriam. Happy New Year. Hey, Trina. Happy New Year to you too. So in time to film it. Yes. Thank you. Love Disney Dogs. I wanted to go over some of the contest stuff with you guys as well because I want this year, I am going to be announcing the categories as well as the rules. I'm going to have all of that done like the first week for Christmas in July. That way, you guys will have so much time to be able to prepare for the contest deadline date. And also, I am going to say this now, but I will also reiterate it then because there were so many entries that did not follow the rules in regards to like the length of time, how things were supposed to be filmed. So I just want to give you guys a heads up now. The rule sheets will be posted just like they were before. And anyone who does not follow the rules for each individual submission will automatically be disqualified. And I'm not going to be editing videos in any type of way to make them work or um, sending out emails requesting additional footage or a resubmission or anything like that. If it's not submitted according to the rules initially, I unfortunately I'm just going to have to disqualify that particular entry. So please make sure that you check the rules list for this coming years so that way you will be able to participate and we'll be able to see all your beautiful villages. Like I hated to even edit out some of the footage and some of the videos that I did because um, I tried to keep the videos as true to like the essence of the video that you guys sent. But some of your villages were just so gorgeous, and it just killed me to kind of like edit out some of your footage and trying to decide, gosh, like what should I keep, what shouldn't I, and things like that. And I don't want to be the one to make those decisions on behalf of you guys. So going forward, it'll just be best if you submit what you want us to see within that allotted time frame. And that way you'll be able to tell the story for your village that you want to tell. Okay, so Lauren says, do you have some tips on making a better village video? Yes. One of my biggest tips that I can give to you guys is try to shoot during the morning hours or like at high noon when you have the best sun in your house. Use as much natural light as you possibly can when you're shooting your village. Now, if you don't have a lot of natural light in the space that you're in, get some extra lamps from other rooms and use that to kind of spotlight your village. Take the shade off if you need to. Um, get people to help you out with the process. It makes it so much easier if you don't have like lighting equipment and things like that to use. Ask your friends to come over to help you and make it just a night and order a pizza for everyone and have them get their cell phones and walk with you as you're shooting your village. Have them walk with you like flashlight here on their phone, a flashlight here on this phone, and you guys are all walking in a line together with the flashlights, casting light on the village so that it picks up all of the details that you want everyone to see in your village. The other tip that I have to give you is move very slow and steady. You don't want to like rush and do this because the way it's going to come across on camera is like rush, and it's hard for us to keep our eye following along with what you're trying to show. But also, if you have any moving pieces in your village, it's going to blur that moving piece if you move too fast. So try to move slow and steady. The other tip that I have is when you're taking a video, put your uh, cell phone like this in like a landscape mode instead of a portrait mode. A lot of people get in the habit of taking videos with their phones in a vertical position, but it doesn't give you a wide angle. The best videos that you can capture your village with are always going to be in a landscape position, in a horizontal position, so that you can get a wide angle of the shot and just move very slowly to capture the scene. And then also up and down very slowly like this. Um, if you want to zoom in on a particular area, if you don't have like editing software to do that kind of thing, then slowly just zoom in with your fingers on your camera instead of trying to move in with your hands. If you can get the shot well with like zooming just your camera image in, and the picture will still stay sharp, do it that way. That way you don't have a lot of movement going on and it doesn't give you kind of like that bumpy look on the camera. I do remember there was one village in particular that had a lot of builds that they did in their village. I could see how gorgeous this village was. Um, Everything about it that they did was just fantastic. The camera work, unfortunately, didn't showcase that. So that was kind of one of my concerns, sending it off to the judges, going, oh, are they going to really be able to see how beautiful this is? Because the video was very fuzzy and bumpy and grainy. And I just thought, oh no, I hope they can really see like the beauty of this village because they did such a beautiful job with the build and the details. There were so many details in this particular village. So those are definitely probably my top three tips that I can give you. Lighting, make sure you have appropriate and ample light, steadiness, and then definitely using a horizontal position when you are filming if you are using your cell phone, which most of us do these days to shoot anything. So I hope that helps you. And also, if you have like a taller village, instead of trying to reach over so far, get a ladder. Get a little step stool that's really not going to be seen so that as you're moving in very slowly, you can just slowly step up onto the ladder to get those higher shots and go higher and higher so that you're not trying to like bend over. Because the moment you start to bend over and your arms are outstretched with your camera, you're going to get wobbly in your hands and shaky. And then it's going to reflect in your video. So I hope that helps. Okay, so Love Disney Dog says, I'm usually done early, but this December was tough with some family health problems. Fingers crossed for next year. I am completely with you. You guys, I did not finish my village, I think, until like December 15th. And I am usually done with my village by like November 1st. So it was the same for me. I actually, the last 4 months of the year were really tough for me. I came down with COVID really bad and was sick for 3 months. And I didn't say anything going through it, but it was a tough go. And then I was in the hospital and my mom was in the hospital. And it was just like a crazy season. So I'm very thankful that we are done with that. And I am excited to get started early for this year in preparation for the end of this year and get everything done as quickly as possible. Um, but some things that I also have coming up this year that I'm going to be getting started on very soon, just to kind of give you guys an update of what to expect now until like I kind of kick off my season for Christmas in July is when I usually kick everything off for like the Christmas village stuff. But I'm actually going to kind of keep things going earlier in the year because I'm doing a resurrection scene for Easter, which I am so over the moon excited about. And you guys, I found some awesome figurines. I have been having the hardest time finding companies that sell like nativity figurines or figurines that are in like that time period. I just recently found some that were affordable. Let me say that because I did find some, but they were like so ridiculously expensive that I wasn't going to purchase them. But I found some that were really affordable. So as soon as I get them in, I'm actually going to do a full video on them because I'm just so excited. And I want to show you guys the figurines and I'll definitely list all that information, where to purchase them, how much things were. Um, but I ended up purchasing, I think, at least like 30 figurines for my resurrection scene. So that's to come. Um, my mom got me for Christmas this year. Check this out. Look at this bed and breakfast. Isn't this so cute? And it's a pretty, like a nice size building. I'm so excited about this one. This is a Limax bed and breakfast. It is the Carrolltown collection, and it's called Ocean Crest Bed and Breakfast for those of you who are interested if you like it. So I am going to be creating a scene just like I did for those of you who saw the vineyard that I built for my winery. That was a different Limax piece. I did an entire scene just for that one building and creating the vineyard. Well, I'm going to do something similar like that this year for this bed and breakfast. So I'll have that coming up before Christmas in July. I'll have the resurrection scene coming up. I'm also going to be doing some more tutorials that for the hot wire foam factory tools that I got, showing you guys different cool things to do with those. The next video I'm actually going to do on that is the freehand router. I have been playing with this thing more and more, and the more that I play with it, the more I am just like in love with it. It's such a versatile tool. The sculpting tool was always my favorite at first, but now I don't know. I think I'm falling in love with the freehand router. It's just awesome. There's so many things that I've been able to do with it that I'm so excited to share with you guys. So that'll be the next video that I'm going to be doing for the Hot Wire Foam Factory tools. And then I'll be doing some videos, some additional videos for some of the other tools that I got to show you how to use them, give you some different ideas on how you can use them. And then I'll also be doing some like quick tip videos or like things to consider videos when you're building your village. So those are some of the things that I have coming up within the next several months that I'm going to be working on. I'm going to go back to some questions here. Isabella says, good evening from the Netherlands. Good evening, Isabella. Or good morning over here. Good evening to you. Anna says, shipping to Brazil can be complicated as well as expensive. My daughter is going to the US tomorrow. Will she be able to find any store still selling village items? Probably not, Anna, unfortunately. Um, we in Arizona were sold out of all of our Christmas village stuff in November of last year, like November 5th ish. We couldn't even make it to Thanksgiving, and most of the village stuff was gone here. It was very slim pickings, the stuff that was left. I know that I heard from Robin, and he's in Maryland, and he was telling me that like his Michaels had loads of products still for sale. I mean, they even had an after Christmas sale, which we didn't even have products in our store for them to do an after Christmas sale here on the West Coast. So I guess it might just depend on where she's going in the country. And, but so far as I know out here, I've checked around in the stores in Arizona and everything is already off the shelves for Christmas, unfortunately. So I just don't know if anybody can also chime in on that and put a line in the comment section to help answer that question. Are you guys still seeing Christmas Village stuff available in the states where that you live in? Robin says, can you make suggestions to help with filming our villages to achieve better results? Okay, so I answered that just a few minutes ago with Love Disney Dogs. You guys put that in around at the same time. Let's see. Love Disney Doc says, I'm sorry. Glad you're back to yourself again. Thank you so much. Me too. Believe me, me too. I finally have energy again. Joan says, I'm planning my first village for 2022, and my friends that was supposed to say shocked, are shocked how many thoughts and how much work there is in making just a small village. Yes. I think that's people go into it sometimes when they just get started and think, "Oh, I'm just going to put a few things out." And then the bug hits you. And then you start going, "Oh, but I need roads. Oh, I need streetlights. Oh, I need cars and all the accessories." And then before you know it, you're full on into building and everything else. So it definitely It definitely takes a lot of work. And Joan, like, invite your friends over one day while you're putting it together and let them really see how much goes into it. When I've had some friends over sometimes, and we've just kind of hung out while I'm building and just chatting and laughing, and they're always like, "Oh my god, how are you spending 1 hour on this little bitty tiny section?" And they just, because it's not their thing, they think I'm crazy, but but you guys get it. Um, Monica says, do you think you will be doing the same categories for this year's contest? Maybe a zoo category instead of a carnival? That's a great question, Monica. I was debating what to do for this year's category. I know that I definitely still want to do a villager extraordinaire category for the best overall village. And I was also thinking of doing another "Oh Little Town" category because I just love the idea of just creating a scene, even if it's just a scene within your overall village. But I really think that that category just opens up to everyone at any level because the number of buildings that you can have in it are limited, and you're more focused on creating details around that scene versus creating a large space. So, and that really does help out a beginning villager to be able to still have a category that they can feel confident in entering. The other two categories, I'm not really sure yet. I don't think I want to do four categories because it was a lot of work to get all of this together, and that's why I didn't finish my village until December 15th. And even like my Christmas decor, everything went up so late this year or this past year. So I might just stick to two categories, maybe three at the most, and go from there. But I don't know. I do definitely want to talk to the judges to see if they still want to judge this year or if they want to participate. So, and get some feedback. I would also love the feedback from the group as well. I know, Robin, you sent me an email the other day regarding maybe people should only be allowed to enter one category at a time. So, what do you guys think about that? Um, I kind of go back and forth with it. Like, I understand that vantage point of one great village, like you were saying, can end up winning every single category. But then at the same time, if they took the time to create a beautiful um, video for each category, they deserve to enter everyone as well, and then may the best man win. So I don't know. I do see it from both sides. So those are things that we're going to have to kind of hash out from now until July and see what we end up settling on. But I'm also open to suggestions. The zoo is super cute idea. I actually did see, I think, about at least four zoos within this particular contest, the video submissions. I know that I can distinctly remember five five zoos in five different villages. So they do seem to be coming a little bit more popular. So maybe it would be fun to do a zoo scene. But maybe what we'll do is you guys can submit your feedback. I'll post a different video, and in the comment section of that video, you can submit some ideas and then take a vote on which categories there we should do. So we can kind of keep it diplomatic. So we'll kind of cross that bridge in the next couple of months. But I definitely am open to suggestions and ideas from you guys. Love Disney Dog says, love the Christmas tree in the window. In my window. Are you talking about from one of my other videos? Or the ones that I have over here behind me, like next to my village? Let me know. Love Disney dogs. Let's see. Lauren says, I finished my village December 24th. Oh no. You were like me. I got COVID December 13th. Oh my gosh. So I didn't get everything I was planning. I'll get it done next year. Yes. Don't we all just hate COVID? I'm so over COVID. Um, yeah, it wrecked a lot of people's plans this year, unfortunately. And so that's why this year I'm like, I am determined. I am starting my village probably in like July for Christmas in July. My new layout with getting mostly everything like built up that I need to get built. You guys know, like every year I build something new for my village. So I am starting in July with all of my builds that I want to do so I can get everything done so that all I'm doing is kind of assembling instead of building and assembling at the same time. Because this year I built every single piece in this village brand new this year and it took me forever, and especially kind of being down and ill and trying to build at the same time. It was more than an ocean, you guys. So I'm definitely getting a jump start on everything so that I can just be completely focused and ready for the contest instead of trying to do both at the same time. Let's see. Yolanda says, "I love it." Joan says, "Well, it's beautiful." Oh, the bed and breakfast. I really like that building. I love your village set. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Michelle says, "So glad you all made it through and you're healthy now. You have an awesome husband who supports your hobby. I enjoy your videos, tips, suggestions, etc. Thank you for all you do. Be safe this year." Thank you so much, you guys. I really do appreciate that. And my husband is he's very awesome. He definitely um has grown to appreciate the villaging because he didn't always get it at first when I first got started on it, and he was like, what? But it was just something that just didn't go away, and the more that I did it, the more I loved it, and the more I just became um so engrossed in creating and crafting and building and everything else that goes along with it. So he's an awesome guy. Akila says, I'm so excited for the resurrection scene. That's a fantastic idea. Thank you so much. I have not been more excited to do a village scene since I started villaging than this. I have an entire plan in my head that I am just waiting to execute once I get the rest of my pieces in so I can start figuring out my flow, my build, and everything else. But I do know like the overall gist of how I want it to be. So I'm just so excited. I can't wait to bring this to you guys and share it with you guys. You have no idea how excited I am for this. Danny says, there was hardly anything on the shelves before Christmas. I know. I felt the same out here. Danny, where are you located? What state are you in? Varouche, hey, hey, he just joined in. Hi. He says, hope the life is going well. Yes, it is. Um, and it looks like let's go ahead and keep our plans for Saturday, Varouche, because during the week next week is not going to really work. So let's definitely plan to do that call on, I think we said Saturday between noon and 2. So that'll work. Trina says, Marketplace on Facebook has Christmas Village items and Amazon as well. Just be selective. Yes. Thank you for that, Trina, because I usually do bring it up and I completely forgot. So, who was it that asked that their daughter was coming into the States? Lauren? Yeah, Lauren. Lauren Lopez. She might be able to find stuff in Goodwill. m- Um, if she wants to actually like go into a store and purchase something and bring something back. Goodwill usually does still have stuff sometimes after Christmas if it wasn't already bought up. She can try that. They do sell. Sometimes I go in and I can find Lemax stuff in there and Department 56 things for sale in Goodwill because people who are giving it like belong to a family member who passed or something and they don't even know what they have. So they're donating it to the Goodwill. Um, so that is another place. OfferUp If you guys use that platform app, they do have a lot of different Christmas Village options you can buy. Facebook Marketplace, like Trina is saying, they do have a big selection of Christmas Village products. Amazon does sell new Christmas Village products. Here's the only caveat to buying on Amazon that I learned, at least from Lemax. If the retailer is not an approved Lemax retailer, let's say if you bought like a carnival item that moves and it stops working, if it's not an approved retailer from Lemax, if you have an issue with it, you can't send it back to Lemax under the warranty. You basically void your warranty for that piece um, if there is an issue with it. So, not every seller on Amazon is a Lemax approved distributor for their products, if that makes sense. So just be careful. And you can see the list of retailers on lemaxcollection.com on their website if you want to make sure that you're buying from an approved distributor. And for some of these pieces that are moving pieces that you might have issues with, you want to be able to have some type of recourse to send it back if you get it and it's not working and things like that. So I know that people have had issues with that in the past. So I just want to throw that out there. But if you're buying a piece that's not moving, absolutely. Amazon sells stuff all day long. I did also notice though, they are typically, in certain cases, anywhere from $10 to $25 more expensive per piece. I have seen figurines go for $10 more than actually what they're sold for, like on ehobbytools.com. So if you're concerned about price and trying to get the best bang for your buck, just shop all of the websites to try to find the best deals that you can. Faye says, have you considered a vintage category? Ooh, most villages feature at the same buildings. I did not, but that is a great idea. I'm actually going to write that down. So we have a zoo and vintage. That would be really cool. Which brings me up to one of the next things that I got a question on that I did check into. So Shantae had sent me an email asking about retired pieces because she noticed Lemax is retiring a lot of pieces this year, you guys, if you weren't already aware. And she was wondering, like, how do I get these retired pieces before they are officially retired? And will Lemax bring them back after they're retired? So I checked in with my rep over at Lemax and she said no. They actually break the molds when they retire a piece. So they will never remake something once it's been officially retired. So if there are pieces that you guys want, I suggest trying to go on right now that are on the retired list and see if you can get them before they retire. Because a lot of the times, what happens with retired pieces, people who have them turn around and sell them for like $400 or $500 years later because they're so hard to find. If you go on to eBay, even some of the zoo pieces that actually moved that Lemax was selling years ago in that series, some people are selling one zoo cage with like one exhibit, okay? Not the entire zoo collection. I'm talking one exhibit of like a panda scene for $550. So if it's something that you really want and you know it's on the retired list for this year, get it while some of the distributors still have it in the stores so that you're not paying inflated prices years down the line or hoping that you can luck up on it through like OfferUp or Facebook Marketplace or something. I would highly recommend doing that if I were you guys. Let's see. Robin says Christmas villages are gone from Michael's now, only storage containers setting up for Valentine's Day in Maryland. Okay, thanks for that. Lauren says, can you consider a category for villages with trains? Yes, I will write that down too. That's a great idea. So you guys have such wonderful ideas. Um, there were a lot of good train ones. Oh, who was it that put the bridge? Somebody submitted a Christmas Village video and they put like an old, like it was intentionally rickety looking bridge on their mountain. And it was gorgeous. Like the detail in it um, was just so awesome. And it looked like one of those true old school train platform just hanging off the side of the mountain and their train was running through it. And so all of those like creative type of designs, I think definitely should be showcased and deserve some attention. So I'm just going to put the categories together and you guys are going to vote on them and pick them. So we'll see what you guys end up choosing. Okay, let me go down a little bit here. Okay, Faru says the live. No, I'm talking about the Zoom. Robin says, what were any of the comments from the judges regarding what was good and bad? Um, the judges, you guys, this the last two categories for the Miriam's Manor Artistry Award and the Villager Extraordinaire category, they had the toughest time with those two categories in particular. They felt like there were more clear winners with O Little Town and Carnival Time. But the last two categories, you guys would not believe when I went to count up the points from all the judges, you wouldn't believe how close so many people were like grouped up in a tight ball. I think for the Villager Extraordinaire, the winner only won, I think, by like 2 points. Um, everybody was really close. There were several perfect scores from several of the judges in the Villager Extraordinaire category. Two of the judges submitted like 10 or 11 perfect scores. In the Miriam's Manor Artistry Award, there were like 8 or 9 perfect scores from two of the judges. So it just ended up being such a close call where they expressed the difficulty of choosing who really won what. One of the things, some of it came down to technicalities. Who, after looking at the essence of the village, who then followed the rules and who didn't. So there were a lot like that, that one, even just from or getting one extra point here or there for following all the rules to the category. So it was really close in a lot of these races because you guys just put together some phenomenal villages and beautiful pieces for the artistry awards that you guys made it really hard for the judges. So kudos to you. And there wasn't really a ton of negative feedback from the judges so far as what you did. I think the most consistent thing that I heard from the judges was the lack of following the rules for each individual category. And there were points allotted for that. And some people who didn't follow the rules just completely just were disqualified from some of the categories. But that was probably their main thing is some of the contestants just not following the rules that were set out to also make it easier for them to judge, as well as even just me to put all of this together. So everybody was volunteering their time on this. So when like time limits were exceeded and things like that, or videos were longer than necessary because you took a video of your whole village and for the old little town scene and you were only supposed to film that little scene. Things like that cost some people a win. So I would say definitely keep that in mind. That's why I stressed to you guys even at the beginning of the video, going forward, especially to respect the judge's time as well as my own. People will just automatically be disqualified if you enter and don't follow the rules for each individual category, because the judges put. It's one thing for me to host this and be okay with doing it, but it's another thing for me to ask someone to sacrifice hours of their time. And the judges, some of the judges put like 40 hours into viewing all of these different categories and judging it. And I so appreciate them for their time and dedication that they put into this. And it wasn't something that they rushed through either. They really took their time and watched so many of the videos, as long as they were, 2 and 3 times to make sure that they were properly judging each individual entry. So, for those of you who want to maybe like really boost your chances for this year's village, make sure to follow all the rules when you enter. Follow those tips that I gave previously about the videos. Um, oh, and the other thing, when you're taking a video, don't do this. Don't start off landscape and then go portrait when you are shooting your village, because it flips the screen and then your village will be lopsided on one side. I had to edit a lot of videos and like redirect the video straight as much as I could, because you could tell when some of you were doing this while you were taking your videos. So this year I'm just not editing anything. That your categories, your entries will be judged on how you submit them. And so try to be mindful of some of those things when you are going through that process. My honey just joined me, you guys. He just came in the room.
Where are you at?
I don't know. The comments just moved down. Hang on one second.
Let me know whose comments you're reading, and then I'll start helping and reading back and forth.
Okay. Marketplace, Robin, Christmas villages are gone. Okay, so Joan, we're on Joan. It says, sorry for my spelling. I've got the flu these days.
Okay.
No problem, Joan. Faye says, vintage brings a different look, not formulaic. Absolutely. And the vintage pieces are just so gorgeous. The architecture of a lot of the vintage buildings are absolutely gorgeous. And I wish that there were pieces that we could find more readily, but even just from my searches, because I've been looking at some vintage buildings to do like a little vintage neighborhood, they're really hard to find. And they're hard to find at affordable prices, let me say that. But I completely agree with you. There's Asun, one of the subscribers and person who submitted a village. He has some more like vintage pieces. He's in what European country? I can't remember which European country he's in right now off the top of my head, but he has 3 different village setups, and he has some gorgeous vintage pieces that are just beautiful. Eve says, from the window in the bed and breakfast, I bought you. Huh? Mom, what are you talking about? From the window in the bed and breakfast. What do you mean from the window, Mom? Did part of your comment get messed up or cut off? Love Disney Dog says, I made a campground as something new this year. When I saw one of the videos in the contest had a really cool detailed campground, I literally stood up and clapped. Great minds think alike. Oh, that's so awesome. So I don't know if you caught the winners, Love Disney Dog, but that was Shantae Brown's village, and she actually won the artistry award for that entire campground scene. And So that would have been very interesting for you to submit yours and offer a little bit more competition on that particular scene. But I 100% agree. It was absolutely beautiful. I thought it was creative. Did you guys notice the hieroglyphics in the cave in the mountain? Like those tiny little details are some of the things that stood out to the judges when they were making their final decisions. Is who added elements that were completely detailed that some of the other contestants just didn't think about. Like when it came down to those hairline wins, those were the types of things that took one over the top versus another. So um, I thoroughly enjoyed the campgrounds, and I actually loved the tents that were in that campground scene because I had been researching tents to do for my resurrection scene. I wanted a few tents that I want to make throughout there. And so when I saw those tents and she put lights in each little tent that made it look like people were in there, like around their little lantern. And I was just like, what a fantastic idea, because I didn't think of adding little lights inside of there, but it's definitely something I'm going to be doing now when I put my tents together for my resurrection scene. So I just loved all of your creativity and seeing you guys put all of those together. Lloyd says, Miriam, I left work early to get here and on time, and you started early. You are on my naughty list, miss. You know what, Lloyd? I did apologize twice for that already, but I'm going to offer you an apology. I originally had scheduled this for 11 a.m. and for whatever reason, YouTube set it for 11:25, and I didn't catch it at first. And I caught it this morning when I went to log in, so I changed the time to 11 a.m. Um, but I knew some people wouldn't end up seeing that time change. So I'm sorry. That I'll try to make sure those types of things don't happen again, because that definitely was my error. But I'm glad you're here.
I'll start reading some. If you want.
Okay, go ahead, babe.
All right. So Love Disney Dog says, I was talking about the Christmas tree in the bay window of your new bed and breakfast.
Oh, thank you for clarifying that. Oh, and that's what mom was saying in the window of. Got it. I read so many comments in between that I forgot. Oh, yes. Did you guys see that? The Christmas tree in the window? It has presents under the tree too. It's so cute. I just love this. I can't even wait to make a scene around this particular bed and breakfast. I'm envisioning like how I want the grounds to be. Probably, surely, some type of water feature in there somewhere. So the wheels are definitely turning.
All right. Fayetta says, appreciate your work doing your family villages while helping us.
You are very welcome. It is my pleasure, you guys. I love that we're all village nerds and we can all enjoy this together.
Jose Enrique says, hi, Miriam. Danny says,
Hi,
Boston.
Jose.
I'm assuming that's where he's at, Boston.
Yes, because I asked him where he was regarding, because he said he didn't have any village stuff in his state either. So Boston doesn't have anything either.
All right. Love Disney Dog says, P.S. My name is Vicky, and I'm from the great state of New Jersey.
Did she say the great state?
I said the great state of New Jersey.
He's saying the great state of New Jersey. Hey, Vicky, thank you for giving me your name. I'll try to remember that. Love Disney Dogs is Vicky.
Theata says, do you shop secondhand stores for your village items?
Oh my gosh, yes. Especially when I first got started. And so when I first started Christmas villaging, you guys, like I was on a serious budget.
You're still on a serious budget.
Not so much.
Just kidding.
Well, here's the thing. My husband did not get why like I wanted to spend so much money on this village stuff. And so he would be like, you want to spend what on what? So I was very limited with my Christmas Village budget when I first got started. So I was going to Goodwill a lot to see what I can find. And you guys, I remember one day I went to Goodwill. I found 8 Limax pieces. I walked out of Goodwill with 8 Limax pieces for $50. Unheard of. You can't buy pieces new like that. And most of them that I purchased were in perfect condition. One of them had a chip that was like maybe that big on the base towards the back, and the other one was had a chip in one of the chimneys, and that was it. It's not noticeable. These are things that, like the base of that one, I put snow over it, and nobody's ever the wiser. And the one that had the chip on the chimney, I just mixed paint colors to find that match that like orangey type of brick paint, and hand painted over the chip so that you really can't notice it when you are looking at it at first glance. You have to really be studying it to catch it. So um, I love to thrift shop for village pieces when I can. Also, um, when I first got started and I wanted to fill my kids' village up with more stuff, I definitely thrifted a lot of their pieces. Like I gave them some of my hand-me-downs that were older, but they needed more figurines. And so people who were like on OfferUp having like selling a figurine pack, I would do that and just buy those and get 20 figurines for like $10 that some people were selling them for so that my kids could have a little bit more figurines in their village. So
I also think it kind of goes back to when we're talking about the question in terms of the judges and how they are ruling. And it's kind of tough to give credit to someone who purchased a perfect village versus created a perfect village too. So even mixing
yes.
and matching some of those pieces where you can see an old house with a new house, but it looked fluid, like it fit in that community. That's the creative components to it that can make a judge appreciate what the person did versus just having the disposable funds to buy this perfect
Yes.
look. So, yeah, I this is an expensive hobby.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
can be. It can be a very expensive hobby. I will. It's an expensive hobby, even if you do it on a cheap scale,
right.
really, because it's ever changing and ever growing. We buy new pieces every year. We switch things out. We um, are constantly buying more accessories to fill things up. And we grow our villages like a town grows. We kind of grow it in the same manner. And so, you have some people that do swaps of buildings. My mom and I do it all the time where she has a village, I have a village. Sometimes she'll let like me or my kids borrow something that she's not using that year, vice versa. If I have extra platforms, she knows she can use whatever I have that I don't use for the year. So that helps too when you have people that you can kind of swap some things out with.
All
Who's
right.
next?
Varouge says, yep, yep. Saturday noon till 2 still works for me.
Perfect.
Veronica, Versati 2, Macari 2.
Okay.
Not sure what that's referring to.
Oh, Macari, that is a website where you can buy used or sometimes new, mostly used Christmas Village pieces. So you guys can check out Macari.com.
Fiera says, hi. Oh, hi. You just answered my question. Veronica says, Amazon can be a little expensive.
Yes.
Fiera says, yes, ma'am. So I
Yes.
guess she's in agreement. Michelle says, I suggest Goodwill, but I purchase a lot of Department 56 before Christmas at a flea market for really cheap.
Nice.
Yeah, a lot of times, also estate sales. Like, remember when we first moved into this community, people were having estate sales all the time.
Yes.
And a lot of times, people's parents may have passed, and the kids don't want to go through and figure out they just want to get rid of the stuff, sell the houses or whatever. So sometimes, you can get a lot of great steals at estate sales, and the kids don't even know. Like one of our neighbors who found that really expensive painting, Miss Phyllis, when she was at 120 State
Yes.
Sale, and the kids
Yes.
didn't even know what they had.
Yes.
So you can
Yes.
come up
That
on
happens all the time.
those types of opportunities too.
Absolutely.
Judith said, "I had a zoo last year. It only wasn't shown in my contest video, so she didn't show her zoo in her contest video." Michelle says, "You also can find stuff at Walmart online, as well as
Yes.
Home Depot and Lowe's."
Yes.
My buddy Roland, hey Roland, he says, "Yay! It is our Christmas queen. It is our Christmas queen." Not sure what he's referring to. Yay! It is our Christmas queen. Oh, he's talking about you. Oh, sorry. I thought there was a different conversation. Like, oh, sorry.
I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Oh. I'm like, wait, well, there was a conversation about like, did he get a piece that was a Christmas queen? Like, was that a figurine? Oh, you are the Christmas queen, honey.
I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Veronica says, "I did my Valentine's Village."
You did? You have to send me an email with pictures. I want to see it.
All right.
Oh, and you'll be doing your Easter Village really soon. Oh, I can't wait to see it. You know who else does an Easter Village is Lloyd. He had some beautiful, like whimsical pieces for Easter that he did a village with that he sent me. Not this last season, but the season before that, and it was so cute. You guys should post them to Facebook so that Lloyd, post your have you joined Facebook? I don't think you've joined me on Facebook yet. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't think I've seen your name come across. But anyways, send me a friend request, and that way you can post your Easter pictures with everybody and offer everyone some inspiration.
Vet says, "Hi, maybe think of a North Pole or Winter Wonderland Village."
That is a great idea. I am writing that down.
Judith, "I'm not selling anything from my zoo, although it brings a lot of money." I'm not selling anything from my zoo, although it brings a lot of money. All right. Shantae, "Hi, Miriam. Many blessings to you, you and the family all year long. Have you thought of personalizing any of your buildings? I would love to relabel without messing up the piece. Any suggestions to wear?"
Yeah. So actually, you guys remember me telling you about Pat, the Hotwire Phone Factory rep? She actually did relabel her buildings. And she was telling me different ways that she did it. I have not yet um, done that, although I do want to. Um, you know how you guys can buy those label machines? And so you could try it that way that and just kind of like paint over the existing name. And if you have one of those nicer ones or like a Cricut, for those of you who might craft, where you have the clear label that you can just put over it so it looks more realistic, you can do it that way. Um, if you are so very brave, you can paint over the original name and then try hand painting over it as well. But I think using one of those label machines or like the Cricut label makers would probably be the cleanest, sharpest way to relabel a building.
Okay. Fayetta says, "Will you be selling any of your diverse figurines to the public?"
I am trying to work on that, Faye. I I have some figurines that I'm actually trying to get printed. They are fantastic. Oh my gosh. And they are so diverse. There's clearly visible ethnic groups. We've got Asians, Hispanics, blacks, whites, one gal who's Native American. So I purchased this bundle, but I have to work on getting them printed. And they're very modern. And check this out, you guys. They do not have bases and they stand up on their own. So you don't have to worry about trying to, um,
Match and paint bases.
match and paint your bases or cover your bases and that kind of thing. It's just a figurine that stands on its own. So I've been trying to see if I can do this affordably to offer it out to the public, but the cheapest that I could get one of them printed so far with the person that's gotten back to me was like $30. That's so unrealistic to buy one figurine for $30. So I'm trying to see if there's a way that I can kind of mass produce them at a lower price so that I can get them out to you guys because I just know you guys would love them. They are absolutely fantastic. And I love it because you can either buy the whole set and have a diverse village, or there's just something in there for everyone. You can buy them individually and choose which ones you want for your particular village. So, um, Varouj did a video on TikTok that he sent me talking about how he loves his diverse village, and he really tries to make sure as well that he adds um, everyone, and that the diverse village he says is the best village. And I love that because I think that's representative where we live in our nation, and I have the same mindset of trying to be inclusive with everyone because I love everybody. I don't care what you look like. So
Okay,
who's
Lauren
next?
says maybe you could give some guidelines for making our videos so you don't have to do as much editing. This must have been a huge amount of work for you to edit all those videos.
Yes. And you guys, my husband helped me out a ton with it too. He actually, we spent hundreds of hours over the month getting that done. I absolutely will be giving tips to you guys when it comes time for that on the rules sheet, as well as guidelines that must be followed. I'm going to make sure they are very clear and concise. That way, you do not have a question on how to move forward. Um, and hopefully that'll help alleviate a lot of us editing on the back end. Well, it is because if you just don't follow the rules, we're just going to disqualify you. So sorry in advance, but um,
But the most important part is whatever you submit, it's not going to be edited. That's exactly, so you have to make sure you've edited that the way you want it to show.
yes,
Because next year when you submit it, we're just going to plug and play. I
yes,
spent a lot of time cutting, chopping, reorienting, trying to zoom in and out. And for me, I saw a lot of details to the villages because of the time I spent editing
hmm,
and capturing critical things that may have added point value to your video matter. So the editing portion also impacts people's score because you may have had something fantastic in your village, but if you didn't really capture it
yeah,
in your photos or in your video, I may have noticed it because the time I spent cutting and editing, like, oh my God, look at this. But
right,
the camera work didn't make that a focal piece. And so when you're talking about the scores and how they actually came out, it's only as good as the editing that was submitted to, because some things I noticed that other people didn't notice just because of the time I spent cutting and editing, but it wasn't the focal piece in the frame
right,
when you're looking at something
right,
that
right,
I'm like, wow, they should have really zoned in or focused on this,
right,
because this little detail piece is A, unique, B, very well done, and C, adds a component that fits the environment that maybe someone else didn't capture.
right,
Right. And so these are the things you kind of look at, and each judge is different.
right,
Right. So I respected the effort and the building component. Some people may have respected the perfection of how something is done. So it's really different depending on who the judges are. It's kind of like The Voice, or what's the other show that has Simon, um,
American Idol.
American Idol. So we just never know what the judges are actually looking for. All right.
Yeah.
Fayetta says, "I love this chat, Miriam." And Vince says, any
Thank
way to
you.
find out what your scores were so I know.
No, I actually, after I tallied up the winners, I did just delete everything. And I thought about offering that up, but then at the same time, it was already so much work for me then to turn around and like try to email everybody individually their scores. That would have just been a whole nother like couple of days worth of work. And it's just that's not something that I'm going to be doing in the future unless you're first, second, and third place. I did give the actual scores to the first, second, and third place winners so that they know where they stack up against for the three that were at the top. But for everyone else with all of the entries, it just would have been too much work to go back and try to email everyone individually all of the different scores.
All right. Mick says, kudos to all the judges. Thank you. Vince says, how do you do better this year?
How do I do better with what, Vince? With the village or videos or contests? What exactly do you mean?
Are they looking for advice on what would help in their videos or what?
I don't know.
You know? Listen, let me say this. And this is kind of the same thing that I have to tell Miriam sometimes. You build your video based upon what you're going to love in that video, and hopefully other your village, and hopefully other people will like it too. But if you start trying to create your village to try to win, but it's not your style, you're not even going to appreciate or love
Yeah.
coming home to your video.
Yeah.
So you just have to do what you love doing so you can enjoy it. And if you happen to be so lucky as to
Absolutely.
be a winner, that's great. But
Yep.
I'm telling you,
Build what you love.
as someone who loves creating and has participated in different types of contests throughout my life, there's nothing worse than when you start trying to create and build to win instead of creating and building to what you want.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
don't lose your place in what you personally love,
Yes.
right? And so like going back and editing all those videos allowed me to look at these villages in a different way than judges would look at it. You know what I mean? And so it was just beautiful to see all the hand built pieces.
Mm-hmm.
When you can tell, oh, this person decided to build these instead of buy these. And
Yeah.
it may not have looked as professional as one that was purchased, but you can see the work and the effort and the detail.
Well, some
And
of them
that,
look
and
better
some of them look
than
better.
purchased pieces, in my opinion.
But
That
being
looks
a
way better than what you can buy in a store.
absolutely, but being a hand person who likes to build his own stuff, I like imperfections. Like
Yeah.
that's the difference between you and I. I like the imperfections that shows that somebody built this versus purchasing this. So it's
Yeah.
just depends on who the judge is,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely. Yeah, and that is great advice. Always build and stay true to what inspires you. And not that we can't glean inspiration from one another,
Right.
because we absolutely do. I was so inspired by your villages when I saw them in the contests. And there were so many nuggets in so many different videos that I was like, oh my God, I'm writing that down. I'm going to try that. I'm going to build that. I'm going to do this. And so many just little things that I fell in love with. But stay true to what you want to do. Create your vision. And if you do get some inspiration from someone else, great, incorporate that, but incorporate that still into your style.
Lloyd says, my top suggestion for the contest, aside from more categories, is to have only
Lloyd.
one entry per person, meaning you
Okay.
choose only one category to enter.
Okay.
That should save you lots of time.
Yes. And Robin said the same thing. You Maryland folks are on the same wavelength, one entry per person. So,
Prepping the videos won't be that difficult if people submit when it's ready to load.
yes.
So then that you don't necessarily have to limit the categories if it's just I'm under my 5 minute, 2 minute, whatever that is,
Hmm.
and you load it. That's easy. It is that cutting and editing and reorienting, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
I
and
love
trying to
that.
add light to it. I was trying to add as
Oh
much
yeah,
light to
yeah.
a lot of your village videos as I possibly could, because some of them were really dark. And so we did our best to try to enhance your videos on our end before they were submit out to the judges. Um, some of you just had amazing camera work. Like Pammy,
Mm.
I was like, I need to call her. I need lessons for my videos. Your video was so fantastic, Pammy Weed. If you see this live stream, I was so over the top impressed with your technical skills and how you put your video together, as well as Robin. But I expect this from you because you are a photographer. But some of you just have amazing technical skills that, like, I can't even begin to um, get close to. Although I would love to learn. Um, but kudos to you guys who took the time and like tried to put forth something that was enjoyable for everybody to sit back and watch. Who's next?
Robin is next. Robin says, "Will the time limits be changed for 2022? All of the entries for Village Extraordinaire lasted longer than Avengers Endgame movie. Two, two, 2 and 3/4 hours.
Yes.
They got long.
Yes, it got very long. So imagine you guys, the judges, having to watch some of those videos 3 and 4 times when it's almost 3 hours long. Yes, we absolutely will be changing the time limits. And it depends on what each category is. We're going to keep Villager Extraordinaire a little bit longer, but definitely not 5 minutes. And I know some of you are going to go, "What? I had a hard time fitting it in 5 minutes." But we really need to be mindful of everybody's time, and we have to figure out a way to capture our villages in a shorter period of time. And I do suggest doing a dry run for some of you who are like, what, you have to look at your village and say, what do I want to highlight, and take the videos from there. Also, for those of you who don't know, if you have an iPhone, and I don't know about like a Samsung, 'cause I don't have that phone, but iPhones have iMovie as an app. So all you have to do, it's an editing software movie program on your phone. You just upload everything from your photos, and you can edit it and create like little transition screens, cut out the extra stuff you don't want so that you're keeping your video shorter, add a transition screen to it in between. It's really simple software to use. And maybe as we get closer to that time, I can do like a little tutorial on it so you guys can see how to use it for those of you who have iPhones. But it's really user friendly, and it's a way for you to edit your own video up front before you send it over. And that way, you'll be able to take smaller videos of your village and put them all together in one video. But we absolutely are changing the time requirements. I think even for like Oh Little Town, I don't even think we're going to do videos. I think maybe just like a 3 picture submission at the most. So you have to capture this one scene with 3 pictures only. So we're trying to think of ways to make it easier for us on our end so that we also aren't spending an entire month, 10 hours a day editing this stuff on our end. We have to figure out a way to do it where it's not going to be a burden on us during my favorite time of the year that I love to spend with my family, and also for the judges. So,
And also editing out something that may have been significant to them, and we have to make a
yes,
judgment
I
call
addressed
during the
that.
editing.
Yeah.
And so,
Having to edit out some people's stuff that I was like, I don't want to edit this out, but you went over your time. And I'm editing out your village that I really don't want to be making those decisions for you guys. So,
all right, Raleigh says, Miriam, you mentioned lots of problems with music copyrights. Is it best to submit silent videos?
yes. Please, please, please submit silent videos. I don't care if you guys are talking in the background because I'll just run music over you anyway. But don't choose a song for your village and
And submit it.
submit it to me and want me to play it, because I can't. I will get a copyright infringement, and I am not trying to get in any trouble with YouTube, because if you guys don't know this about me already, I follow the rules. So I don't want any trouble. I don't want any trouble with anybody. So I just try to make sure that I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So even for those of you, some of you did submit videos with YouTube approved music already. But going forward, just know I'm still not going to allow that, because then I have to stop a song that I was going to have run through to two songs and have to stop it because your video is next, that kind of thing. So um, it's still just logistically a lot to think about for us on our end when we're trying to edit this for the judges. So,
And you can tell like some of the videos were done for people to their own personal video. So
yes.
you want to submit them to us before you begin to personalize it with your own music. So
Right.
then you just send it that way. We don't have to
Right.
override. And
And no names. Don't list your name in your village videos. A lot of you put your names at the beginning or the end of your videos, which for your own personal use is great. But for what we're submitting, because we wanted this to be completely non biased in any type of way, um, we did everybody by contestant numbers instead of by names, and then the names were released with the winners. So going forward, make sure not to also have your
names in it.
names in your villages.
So Joanne says, Lloyd, I agree.
Okay,
And
he agrees on the one entry
okay.
per person.
Robin says snowing again now in Maryland and it's sticking.
Mm, it's so pretty, but gosh, I can't imagine. You guys got dumped on a couple of weeks ago. It was amazing to see.
I miss the snow. Monica says, I've got lots of ideas for next year as well. I love decorating for Halloween, but I just might have to skip it and get started. I've got my village down already, and the space looks so empty now. Sad
Aw.
face.
I know. We all go through that. You guys,
Keep it up all year.
honestly, I have not taken down a single Christmas tree decoration yet.
Inside out.
I've been so busy. I work a full-time job, you guys, on top of doing this, which is kind of like another full-time job. So um I've been so busy with work that I have not been able to take anything down. I'm actually going to get started today with taking down some of my trees in the house. This thing is not coming down for probably another month, though. I'm going to wait on that, but yeah, I'm going to start working on getting everything else down.
All right. Beasley says, happy to see you all. My heart is breaking as I'm taking this down this weekend. Ma'am,
Aw.
you're going to do any more, are you going to do any more tutorials this summer? What suggestions on how to make street name posts?
Ooh,
So want those
yes.
suggestions?
Yes. So I am doing lots of tutorials. I actually am not going to wait until Christmas in July. So you guys, for those of you who kind of go away the first half of the year from my channel and then come back in July, you're going to miss out if you do that, because I am not letting up off of the Christmas Village stuff, because I actually want to get almost all my stuff built earlier this year. Also, I'm going to be doing a resurrection scene where I'm going to be building that out. And so that'll be different platforms, mountains, and things like that that I'm building for that. And I am thinking I'm going to do all of that in a brown mountain color. So I know that I showed you guys how I do my browns when I did Michelle's brown mountain. But you'll see how I do that even a little bit more detailed with this particular resurrection village that I am doing. I also am going to be, Michelle, if you missed it, my mom bought this for me for Christmas this year. It is the bed and breakfast. So I am going to be creating an entire platform for just this piece, just like I did for the vineyard and the winery that I have. I created a whole scene for that winery with the vineyard, with the two-tiered waterfall and pond, and elevated little cobblestone deck and all of that. I'm going to do something like that for this piece as well. So I do have lots of still Christmas Village tutorials coming your way from probably, I'm going to get started February 1st.
Okay, Joanne says, after Christmas and New Year's Eve, I've ordered some items from the Netherlands with up to 50% discounts. So,
Really?
yes.
What
Love,
website? Can you put the website in the comments?
Love Disney Dog says, I thought the kids combined village was a great idea this year.
Oh, thanks.
And just did any wonderful job presenting it. I'm sorry, and they did a wonderful job presenting this to us.
Thank you. Can you guys hear Dewan okay as he's reading the comments? I want to make sure you guys can hear him fine. But thank you so much. You guys, we did that video in one take. I did not coach these children on anything. At first, I was going to be like, oh, well, you talk about this table and you do this table, because they wanted to tell you guys about it when they were telling me how they wanted their video to be. And I was going to direct, and I said, you know what, you guys just do whatever you want to do. And so I just held the camera up while they started going. And I was just like, these kids are naturals. They shocked me even. It was so cute with all of their little explanations and everything they did. And my heart was full just as I was taping, watching them behind the camera. So it was a lot of fun.
Monica says, I'm planning on shopping e-hobby tools throughout the year and getting something every month, mostly
Yes.
figurines, maybe some lights and other accessories. However, I haven't informed my hubby of this plan.
Monica, listen. You already got your whole like taking out the dining table approved. um don't have your husband like, you're not allowed to watch her channel anymore.
Have the hard discussion.
Yes,
Have the hard discussion
sooner than later.
All right. So we have someone in Iceland watching. Nanette says, always watching. Hello, always watching. And watching
Hello.
from Iceland. Veronica, I sent it to your IG this past week. Instagram this past week. Not sure what that was.
Oh, her Valentine's Village.
Oh, okay. Cool.
You did? Because I saw your Christmas one. Did I see it? Wait, maybe I did see it.
And then
I will check it out.
Monica says, ha ha ha, you are the Christmas queen. Michelle says, come on, Dewan. We all know Miriam is our Christmas queen. Listen, I just got caught slipping. Right? I came in the middle, like maybe there was a prior discussion.
That's funny. Hold on, you guys. I'm going to get this trophy.
Prior discussion. So I didn't know what I was walking in on.
So look at what Robin sent me, you guys. The Queen of Christmas Villages. Isn't that so cute? He sent me a trophy. I thought that was so sweet. So I have it proudly displayed in front of my village.
All right. Ronnie says, thank you for your time and your pleasant teaching videos. I feel so bad that you and your family were ill this holiday season. Thank you to you and all the judges.
Thank you so much, and you're very welcome.
Let's see. Well, here's the other piece to that, though. The thing that I love about this is because of the internet and because of YouTube, this will be for generations. Like your kids and grandkids can see what you guys built 30, 40 years ago. Yeah. Like this is just kind of awesome because it's something that you're leaving as a legacy.
Yes.
And so it's I don't know. I'm not a big village person, but I'm definitely becoming a fan of what you guys do. And I live with a village queen. So yeah, I mean, you guys eventually pull other folks in that this may not even be their interest because of the detail, the quality, and the passion is contagious.
And then for what's her name who said about doing the vintage village, just imagine like the next generation, our pieces that we're passing down will be vintage. And so it'll be fun for them to see how and from their eyes, how we put our vintage villages together, and how they're doing it for their days. Like even when my kids are older, Shantae, when your kids are older, and things like that. So, Veronica, they just came through.
You are all vintage in waiting.
Yeah.
All right, Lloyd says, I haven't been on Facebook in ages, but I can for you, Miriam. Still on my naughty list, however. Ha, ha,
ha. Okay.
And
but thank you.
Veronica says, my Valentine's Village?
Yes. Okay. She just sent it. I just got it.
Okay, got it. Fayetta says, good point. I found 1986 Department 56 buildings at an estate sale.
Yes.
So that's good. Ronnie says hours and hours of viewing and editing, all while you were sick. God bless
Yes.
you.
Thank you. It was
It was work. It was work.
that was a season, you guys, that I never want to relive again in my
Listen,
life.
Miriam loves you guys. Like she regardless of how she's feeling, she feels obligated to making sure she takes care of what she committed to. So she and I are different in that regard because I'm like, I'm not feeling it today, so whatever. But she'll be like, no, I gotta do it. I gotta do it. They're waiting. So yeah, you got the right one leading this. You
Thanks,
guys will still be
honey.
waiting on me. Like, wait, Christmas is over. The videos aren't out. All right, Lauren Lopez says, excellent advice. Lloyd says, so happy for Dewan's input. I made my village for me, and I only entered it at the last minute. Lloyd, yeah, loved it. Loved your village.
I
Yeah,
know.
yeah, that's awesome.
And actually, one of the judges actually called me about your village. They didn't know who you were because they just had the contestant number, but they were like, "Who put the fairy tale village together?" That was so cute. And they were talking about how they loved your whole overall theme. That the theme of your village, like you created what you set out to do with creating this fairy tale type of village. So they caught on to that inside and they did love it.
Easily says, absolutely, Dewan. Great remark. This is our village. We are sharing with the group and the public. Do what you love, and the big thing is to have fun doing it. That is
Amen.
it. That is it. So for me personally, watching the videos after they were all put together, I loved the various experiences,
Yes.
right, of each video, right? Like the
Yes.
campground one blew me away. I never saw a campground,
Yes.
never imagined that a campground layout could have enough detail to keep me intrigued and following. Oh, like where's this go? But I've never been a camper,
Yeah.
but I felt like I had a camping experience.
Yes.
So that's what I love about what you guys offered. Like you offered a spirit of enthusiasm and creativity and excitement for somebody who may not have really been thinking about these other, like the video that had the drive-in movie theater, right? Like
Yes.
this was awesome. I don't
Yeah.
know, it was awesome.
So many.
It was
Gosh, we
very
could just go
inspiring.
on and on.
Yeah, I think like if I could have given out a trophy to everybody, like I would have, right? Because
Yes.
I felt everyone's work was amazing. It was really
Absolutely.
amazing.
Absolutely. I
Um,
completely agree.
so Eve says so many contestants paid attention to the smallest detail. She loved
Hmm.
it. Veronica says, how can we find you on Facebook?
Miriam's Manor. It's just Miriam's Manor, the same as it's spelled on my shirt. I did do the apostrophe S. So, same exact way. Same as the YouTube channel. Everything is just going to be Miriam's Manor.
Reba says, I'd like to have an opinion on if I'm anywhere close to having a good layout. Was told it looked like scatter houses.
Who told you your village looked like scattered houses? Send me your village to my email, miriamsmanor@gmail.com, and I will give you some honest feedback.
One of the things also that we have to take into consideration. So for me, as somebody who's traveled to so many countries, been to so many different cities and states, sometimes we look at things through the portal of our local experience, right? But
Yes.
like when I looked at some of the videos, submittals, I could almost tell which part of the world some of them were coming from
Yes.
because of my travel. And
Yes.
so some of the
Like the one from Belgium.
yes,
Ah,
you know, so
gorgeous.
you're looking at the houses, but also even
The
how
architecture is different of the houses and the
yes,
buildings. So you can tell, gosh, this has such a European feel to it,
and
or this has such a like Spanish feel. Somebody did like a Puerto Rican village. That was
yes,
awesome.
loved
It
it.
it it was so like authentic to that region. So there were just so many different villages that were regional.
Yeah.
Um, that you could tell how special it was with the architecture and also but what was put into it and how it was laid out because you laid it out like that city where you're from and you give us the viewers a little taste of Belgium and Puerto Rico and the Netherlands and Australia, and you give us a little taste of your world that we're not always able to experience firsthand. So it's just so special.
But even in like the city layout and how it's designed, so even outside
Hmm.
the buildings, right? Like the spacing element. Like if you've been to Puerto Rico, if you've been to Nicaragua, Cuba, if you've been to these places and you look at some of these villages, like I was like, oh, that is dead on to what that place looks like because some of the roads aren't the way we have roads here in America.
Yes.
Some of the houses are spaced in a different way because it really wasn't city planned. It was local planned and you build it where you can fit it in.
Hmm.
Right. And so that's the experience that I felt I was getting from a global standpoint and not just an American perspective on the village. And so that was awesome. Brandy says, I felt this is tough. I felt like I definitely tried to please others rather than be unique to me. I have
Brandy
actually
Verily.
yes.
Okay.
I have actually decided not to enter so that my village is built to please me. Build it to please you and still submit it. You know,
Yes.
like build it to please you and still submit it.
Listen, because here's one thing that I would love for you guys to keep in mind. Build your village the way you want to build your village, and don't build it to try to win. Build it to inspire the community that we've created. Because from the smallest of scenes to some of these big, massive, phenomenal villages, I've been inspired by all of them. And I can look at some of the things that you guys built, even if it was just a retaining wall or stairs, or I can see the level of detail that you put into it. I can appreciate it because this is what I do. And others who have taken the plunge and started doing it too, or maybe who have already done it, they can look at it and appreciate it as well. And we're not just looking at it for like aesthetic appeal, but also technique. Some of us look at these things and go, wow, like, what did she use to make that? I've reached out to some of you and asked you, what did you use to put in that lake? Because it just looked so good. Or, what type of lights were those that you used? I've reached out to several of you of things that I have seen in your villages that I just wasn't even sure how you did it. And just curious, like, I want to do it too. So it's not always like, to me, the contest isn't about winners and losers. It's about us sharing our gifts that we've been given and our talents with one another, our passions with each other, and offering inspiration to one another. And the more creativity that's out there for this, the more we can all learn and grow and try new things that we can stretch ourselves with and maybe thought that we wouldn't do some of these things before. So um even if you feel like, oh, my village will never stand up to winning, to me, that's not the point. Um, you're still part of this community, and we still want to share in the joy of what you've created as well.
Yeah. I like even the one of my favorite little videos didn't have a whole lot of housing in it, but the creativity of somebody attempting to do the Northern Lights. You know, and so I
Yes.
was like, wow,
Dewan
just
talked about that video
I was
forever.
just like, man, like outside of the build of the village, just the creativity to say I can emulate this experience this way.
Yes.
Like that's what I mean by the inspirational. So like you'll look up 4 or 5 years from now, and these villages are going to be even more amazing because they're inspiring one another.
Yes.
Because I really want to know how did you pull that off, right?
Yes,
Like,
with the multicolored light,
right,
like, flashing in the back. So somebody did a northern light scene, and if you're looking at it and if you didn't catch it, it might not look like much to you. They had a ski slope, and it was a very Arctic looking scene,
mhm,
and it was very well done.
authentic.
And they had the flashing lights behind the mountains going up with, like, that looked like the aurora borealis, and it was so cool. So, and it was just one small scene that they submitted. But think about what that scene did for somebody like my husband who doesn't even village. He kept watching that one over and over and over again and was like, this is so awesome. Or somebody like me who's like, maybe if I ever do an entire Arctic village, I'll incorporate that into one of my scenes. And so you just never know how you're going to inspire someone else. I remember when I first started this channel and I was telling my husband, when I first started building stuff and when I finally got a good footing on building everything. And I was like, I started teaching people in my house how to do it first before I started my YouTube channel because I had people see what I was doing and they were like, will you teach me how to do that? And so I thought, I told my husband, maybe I should just put this stuff on videos and just send it out. That way, everybody can kind of know how to do it and they don't have to all try to come here for those who can't attend. Um, and he was like, "You think so?" He didn't realize the type of community that was out there for villaging. And honestly, I didn't really realize it was going to become this either. I just knew there was a few people that I knew that I would be able to help. And so I set out to do this with the mindset of I'm not a pro at all, but I love what I do. And I have figured out some of these things that I can maybe prevent someone from making some of these same mistakes that I made. And so that was just my heart. And when I set out to do this, I honestly didn't see it becoming like what it is now or even what it maybe will be in the future. I just thought I'm just going to help where I can. And so when you have that attitude where you're focusing on just helping where you can, it doesn't have to be perfect. I make things all the time that I feel like I could make it more perfect if I spent more time on it, but I don't want to. It's good enough for me as it is, and I'll move on. Um, I just focus on helping out where I can and being a resource. And as I learn things, I'm sharing them with you. As I see something that I'm inspired by from somebody else, I turn around and I share it with you because I feel like if it's offering me inspiration, it'll offer somebody else inspiration. So uh, keep those things in mind as we're going through this journey together.
GI Blue said video editor on Windows 10 is a great way to make videos. Use both photos and videos. It's easy to use.
Nice.
Robin says there are plenty of free and very inexpensive video editing softwares available. For example, Wondershare, Lightworks, iMovie, Shotcut, OpenShot. So
Oh my
that's great
gosh.
advice.
That's like
Um,
technical overload.
Beasley says I watched the videos too, and they were excellent. I would suggest that you start your video at a certain context is to wide shot it for a
Yeah.
full scene before zooming in on the individual pieces.
Yes.
Great advice.
Yes.
Ronnie says, it just jumped on me.
That's what
Um,
I used, iMovie, but I needed an iMovie for Dummies tutorial. And you guys, like there's so many YouTube videos that will teach you how to use the software and will walk you through it step by step on how to do it. So you don't have to feel like you have to be a pro at some of these things. Just doing a quick little basic edit job is good enough. And there's a lot of ones like type in editing on iMovie for beginners or something like that. And there'll be so many different videos and tutorials that'll pop up that'll help.
Ronnie had just made that comment that I used iMovie, but I needed an iMovie for Dummies
Yeah,
tutorial.
that's what I just read.
Oh, okay. I missed that one. Then Loki
Loki.
1972 says hello.
Are you like Marvel's Loki? Do you love the did you watch the Loki series?
And which variant are you? Okay. Eve says the contest was a first step for many to come. It was a learning curve for all of us to improve upon and enjoy for future years. Kudos to all the
Yes.
submittals. Robin Wright says, what about a junior category, ages 12 and under? Something to consider.
But would it truly be juniors? Like parents get overzealous and end up doing it for their kids and be like, oh, my kid did this. And it's like, no, you did like 80% of that.
Well, maybe for juniors categories, is what it's there's no prize to it. It's just appreciating what they crafted. I wouldn't want to destroy a kid like, oh, I didn't win, right before Christmas. You know what I mean? Like, it's different. I think. I don't know. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
You know,
We'll have to see. I'll
kid,
put that on the list
kids'
though.
feelings get hurt a little easier than adults. Maybe I don't know.
Okay, kids
Kids
category.
category, junior category is what they call it. 12 and
Okay.
under. I love Disney Dog. This coming year, I'd love to learn about backgrounds, maybe a full discussion of ideas and what everyone is using to enhance their villages, homemade versus reprinted, pre-printed might be fun to talk.
That's a
It's a great
great
topic.
topic. Actually, I'll write that down because we can maybe do that on our next live stream.
Yeah. Lauren says, I think we need to a support group for post-Christmas decoration takedown depression.
You guys, I love you. I go through the same thing. Like, I know I should take my Christmas decorations down, but I don't want to take my Christmas decorations down. I go through the same thing. Like, oh, I just want to make it last a little bit longer. They're so pretty. I get so caught up in Christmas decor.
Fanta says, yes, we can hear him. So that goes back to,
Oh,
I guess,
thank
you
you.
asking. Angel, they most definitely are naturals. Talk about the baby.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Then Fayetta got some crowns up here. Angel says the trophy is gorgeous. You go, Miriam.
Oh, thanks.
Eve says, thank you, Ronnie. It was definitely a joy to be a part of. Fayetta says, my family from across the country was able to see my village. Thank you, guys. That's what we were hoping
Oh,
for.
that's so
That's exactly what we were
awesome.
hoping for.
I'm so happy to hear that. That is fantastic.
Yeah, especially during COVID year when it's like
Oh my
you
gosh.
couldn't really congregate the way you wanted, but you
Yeah.
offered them a piece of your Christmas experience.
Yes.
So that was awesome. Let's see here. Ronnie Weaver says, Dewan, welcome to the dark side. Yeah, I'm getting pulled in, Ronnie. I'm definitely getting pulled in. I actually do this with a smile and joy, not just, yeah, babe, I'll help you. Yeah, so I'm glad to be a part of it. All right, let's see. Thank you for all the videos you do. I love them all. I'm planning for next year already. Then next we got
Nice. Who was that? You didn't say
that was Delgado, Noemi.
Noemi. Okay.
Noemi.
Thanks, Noemi.
And then Veronica says the fairy tales, mini stuff they have to do at Dollar Tree online.
Yes.
Okay. Twinkie G, hi Miriam, how are you?
Hey, sis.
All right. Fiona says, my sons are still waiting to get our entertainment center back. Villages over gaming. They got booted.
That is awesome. They're probably like, Mom, you got to put this up somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm ready to get back to gaming.
That is so funny.
Gaming is a culture, right? Like Christmas villaging is a culture for some people. So they're over there struggling right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The bad artist. Hello. Love Disney dogs. Maybe a new category could be something unusual like zoo, carnival, fair, campground, vineyard, North Pole, etc. Anything from your imagination that makes you unique. That's a good category. Like the imagination category, you can submit to something.
Imagination category.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Reba says, have a resort.
Have a what?
Have a resort. Have a resort. Not sure exactly what that's pertaining to. Have a resort. Is she saying she
maybe
has
a resort category?
Or have a resort? I don't know. Write it down.
I'll write it down.
Robin says, sounds like Dewan is ready to build his own personal village, Notre Dame University. Nope, not quite that in. I'll let Miriam handle that, and I will still just support.
You guys, I actually was trying to pull him in with me this year, and I was like, babe, you sure you don't want to build something with me? Are you positive? And he was like, no.
Nope. I let a queen stay in a queen's place. I am the court jester.
No, you're not.
I'm here for pure entertainment purposes, and I stay in my lane. Danny says, I love the community sharing idea and tips. Mick says, thanks, Robin, for those websites.
Yes.
Judith says, when I was taking down my villages, my fire, I packed my fire lookout and saw it was from 2002. So I realized my collecting Lemax for at least 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Wow. That is awesome.
I'm
That
sorry.
is awesome.
Veronica says the cheap way I learned to make water in a pond was using Elmer's glue. It will dry clear, takes days for the down, takes days that the downfall, but will dry clear. Oh, talk about I guess the waterfall. Will dry clear
No,
just
she's
painting the
saying the
bottom of the
downfall
color.
to that is it takes days
Takes
for
days.
it
Oh,
to dry
that's the
clear.
downfall. Got it.
Yeah. But
Takes days.
so you just plan accordingly.
That's the down. Okay, got it. That is the downfall.
Yes.
Got it. It will dry clear just as paint and bottom the color you want your water. So paint the bottom the color
Paint the
that you
base the
want.
color you want
Yeah.
the water, and then the glue will dry clear.
Yes. Beasley says so. You are now an official Miriam Manor Club. Dewan, we get T-shirts. I'm sorry. Do we get T-shirts? That could be
You
coming.
know what, you guys? Like full honesty, because I always am just like straight up with you guys. So I made these shirts because I make so many videos and I am constantly like, did I just wear that last week? I try not to wear like the same top over and over again in my videos. So I'm like, you know what? I just need some standard shirts that are just kind of going to be like my standard video uniform almost that will just have Miriam's Manor on it. It has Miriam's Manor across the back. Um and so that's just what I was trying to go for was just have I had a few of these t-shirts printed just so that I won't have to think about what I'm going to put on to shoot my videos was what I was trying to do. But I have had so many requests to make more and sell them. So I just might do that for those of you who want to buy a shirt. I do have my Etsy page set up. I think most of you who are probably watching live today know that I have an Etsy under Miriam's Manor. So if I do have more printed to sell, I will make a video and let you all know so you can go on and order it. If it's something that you think you might want now, today, if I get enough response today, I probably can just go ahead and submit an order for it. And I'll commit to doing that if you guys
If you get a large enough.
if I get a large enough response today from this video, I'll go ahead and put in for another order and then I'll just post it to my Etsy and you guys can purchase it through that way.
All right. Let's see here. Eve says, I agree, Michelle Beasley. Getting an overall picture of the village first is a great idea.
Yes.
All right. Monica says, the other side of the coin. For me, the contest inspired me to really push my creativity to the limit. I felt that the competition added to the experience. I want to win for me. Beautiful. Win for me. That's right.
Yeah.
You win for me.
Yeah.
That's right.
And Monica, oh my God, you so did. Your mountain. Okay, so Monica did the really big mountain, you guys, that had like kind of the swirl at the top, and it had several different cascading waterfalls coming down this super tall mountain. And even like the lake portion at the top, like there was a peak up here that was the mountain. And then coming around from the back was the pond coming down, and then it fell off the cliff like that. So beautiful. It was just so well done. I loved it. And I did notice how you had like some pulled cotton on your waterfall that made it look like frothy. And then
The mist.
on like made it look
The water
misty.
mist.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
When it hit the water as well as during hanging off the waterfall. Like none of those details were lost on me. I caught it all. You did a fantastic job. It was very beautiful.
All right.
Who's next?
Michelle says, I'm with you, Lauren, about that support group. Ronnie says, not me. I took the Christmas decorations down the day after Christmas.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Ronnie was on
You're
top of it.
good.
Judith says, when everything was gone, I saw how big my living room was. Next time I want an L shape. I have the room for it.
Nice.
Yep.
I'm thinking about doing a U shape this year, I think. I think I want to do a U shape. We'll see.
All right. Ronnie says, I've got some stuff from 2010 Fire Station 8.
Hold on. I just got an idea. Oh my gosh. I think I'm going to do a double U.
That looks like an H.
Or it is. Oh, let me draw this on the back so you guys don't see my sloppy notes. Oh, wait. How did I just do that? Hold on.
An H.
I know. Hang on. Don't make fun of me, honey. You're making me laugh. Okay. Can you guys see this? I think this is how I'm going to do my village layout this year. That way you can walk around each side and then also come up the middle and then go walk back around, come this way and walk in this way so that every part of the village you get like a really close up look to.
You're going to create a museum.
I think I'm going
That's
to
a
do
museum
it.
experience.
Oh my God, I think I'm going to do it.
360-degree view. All right, let's see what else we got here.
Monica says, I'd buy a shirt. Okay, Monica, that's one. I'm going to do little hash marks.
Danny says the true winner was everyone able to share and see all the wonderful villages.
Amen.
Monica says, I'd buy a shirt. Shantae says, t-shirt, please. Knock, knock.
Okay.
You there? Eve says, we can have the photo video shoot for everyone wearing their Miriam's Matter t-shirt. I think that's a great idea.
Oh, that would be so
And
cute.
let's see here.
That's a good idea, Mom.
Milagros says, I don't want to put my village away.
Don't.
Well, don't.
If you don't have to, leave it out. One year, I left my village up until what, like July
I don't
or
even know
May?
why you took it down, because you turned around like 2 weeks later and redid it.
No, it wasn't 2 weeks later, babe.
Pretty much, I'm pretty sure.
No, I started, it was September. But anyways, I took it down because I can't see the next thing if I still have the current thing up. So for me, it's part of my creative process. Like this whole thing will have to come down before I start planning 2022 and seeing how I want it laid out. So with that being said, let me jump into this before I forget, especially for those of you who still have your villages up, because after you put it away, sometimes it's like, how many houses do I have? How big are they when you're trying to plan your new layout for the year? Here is an idea that you guys can do. So at the Dollar Tree, they sell these poster boards that come 5 in a pack for $1. And you can use these poster boards to make bases, take the shape of the base of your house. And that way you can use these to lay them on the table to get an idea of your layout. Now, for me, this is this particular building here. So I put the name of the building and I put the dimensions. And even though this gives me the shape, I also make sure I put the height, because if I am building something with layers, I need to know how tall the buildings are going to be on that level so that I can appropriately space the next tier behind it. So this is a really good idea to help you guys stay, be able to start organizing your village without pulling out your entire village. You can just, I've also got this folder from the dollar store. It comes to a pack, and I'm just going to start making my cards and leaving them in here like this. And that way you can plan out your villages and just like mark out on your floor, even the shape of your table, and just start laying stuff out to see where you want to put it versus pulling everything out and trying to figure out your spacing. So I hope that helps.
Great pro tip. Great pro tip. All right, so let's see here. Lloyd says, Dewan, it's time to start planning that room addition or just a bigger house.
I
Lloyd,
don't want a bigger
listen,
house.
that room addition might definitely that might be necessary. When you're married to when two creative people are married and always looking to build and do something different,
Yes.
you can find yourself constantly being overwhelmed with where you're putting stuff to find a home for it in the house. So yeah, but we've talked about adding on to have space so this stuff can actually be done with a
Yeah.
dedicated
I
space.
think I just need like a storage shed because
Uh,
I don't
you
have.
need a room to work so you can leave your stuff set up and don't have to take it down and put it back
Very
up. So
true. That would be nice.
yeah, but yeah, great idea, Lloyd.
I don't want a bigger house though. This
No,
is
we're not
already too
moving.
much to
This is it.
clean. This is it. I'm here the rest of my life, Lord willing.
But we can add to the house. Let's see here. Eve says t-shirt, please. Robin says
Okay,
I
mama.
think you should do an M-shaped platform for Miriam's Manor or a double M.
Oh, Robin, why do you do this to me? You are always throwing something out there for me to think about.
No, Robin, why do you always do this to me? We will be cutting some boards to figure out how to make this M work.
Yes.
All
Oh,
right.
that's funny.
Let's see here. Eve says that would be too cute. Robin, that would be too cute about the M's. Milagro said, I'm thinking of putting Valentine stuff on it. All right.
That would be super cute.
Veronica says a M. And let's see, Michelle, I'm waiting for the Eagles, the Eagles game before it takes my Eagles village away. You want to keep that up
Aw.
until the Eagles lose, or is it going to make it to the
The
Super Bowl?
Eagles lose?
I'm
You
saying, or is
just
it make?
calling her
I
team
didn't
out
say
like
they
they're
were
going to
losing. I said,
lose?
or are they going to make it to the Super Bowl?
Oh, okay.
Listen,
I was
don't
gonna
try to
say,
create no hate
dang.
between. Don't do it. Don't do it. Although my Steelers are still in, but that's another story. All right.
Yeah, we have some Steelers fans
So
on
let's
right
see
now.
here. Monica says, "Oh my goodness, that is such a great idea. Now I'm regretting packing everything." Well, for next year.
Next year.
All right,
Yes.
for next year. Good idea. Eve says, "Laugh out loud, Monica. That's cute." Shantae says, "That's exactly what I do to make a pattern for each of my pieces." So
Nice.
that's good. Michelle says, "Love that idea with the post boards." Love Disney Dog. Wow, great tip. Thanks. Twinkie G. I am so in love with my village and I can't bring myself to take it down yet. I am actually adding to it.
Nice.
I have a really great teacher that is still inspiring me and her beautiful talents and skills.
Aw,
Milagros,
thank you.
funny face, laughing face. Michelle says, I keep a picture of all the houses on the phone so that I can see something at a thrift store yard or a yard sale, etc., and know exactly what I have to go so I have no duplicates.
That's a great idea. That's a really great idea. Actually, Robin had emailed me and asked me that the other day. Like, how do you keep track of all of your village pieces so that you never duplicate anything? Um, I duplicate some things on purpose because my kids do want some of the things that I have in my village, so I'll buy two of them. But for the most part, I have a really good memory and I can remember these things. Um, but that is a very good system, especially if you end up growing and you're continuously collecting. I might do like a binder one of these days.
Well, another good way is you can resort back to the video that's on YouTube and say, let me go look at the
I
village I
know. I
submitted
never
and say,
rewatch my
oh, yeah, I
videos
have
though.
that. I know. You
I'm
listen.
weird, you guys. Once I put a video out, I will never rewatch it again. I don't like watching myself on TV.
She won't even let me watch the videos in my house. Why are you
You
watching
can
that?
watch it. I just don't want to watch
Why are
it.
you watching that? Like, look here, lady. All right, so let's see who we got here. Beasley says, "I did a U-shaped Miriam. Gives you reaching space.
Yes.
Also, I added a removable bridge going from one side to the other. Beautiful. I remove it to work
Ooh.
on and to put it back to keep others out." Good.
Nice.
And
Very
let's see here.
nice.
Michelle says the Eagles village is in the husband's Eagles office. Yeah, leave that up to see if they can make it to the Super Bowl. Then you can put Super Bowl champs in your village.
Oh, that would be
All
so cute.
right. We are current on the chat.
Okay, nice. Let me see. If I have anything else on my list to So, um, I just want to reiterate for those of you who jumped on after the fact, some upcoming projects that I do have that I'm going to start working on in the very near future is my resurrection scene for Easter. So you guys can stay tuned for that. I will be building a separate platform for this bed and breakfast, just kind of like how I did my vineyard scene. If you haven't seen the vineyard video, go back and watch it. You'll be able to see how I made one big base for just one building. So you don't need a lot of buildings sometimes to make something great. You just need surrounding pieces. I'm going to be doing more detailed videos on some of the Hotwire Foam Factory tools that I got. And I'm going to be doing some more quick tip videos for some of the technical side of things while we have some downtime to figure some of the technical side out before we start building again for 2022.
You got a few more incoming that trickled in on the back end.
Okay.
It says here, Miriam, I did the binder. I went on Max and printed out their categories. That was
Nice.
Michelle Beasley. Monica
Nice.
says, my hubby and kids bought me an airbrush for Christmas. I'm excited to see all the different techniques I can put to use. I want a static grass machine.
Oh, God, I've seen those.
My
They are
main goal
awesome.
next year is super realistic.
Monica, don't play with me right now. Oh my gosh. First of all, the airbrush. I actually wanted an airbrush because it's so much easier to repaint the village people with an airbrush. You can do it with so much more precision and like perfect application for their skin. Um, and the static grass machine, I saw that for the first time like 3 years ago. And I watched a YouTube video actually of somebody who made their own static grass machine and taught you how to make your own. Okay, so for those of you guys who don't know what we're talking about, a static grass machine is a machine that you can use to make landscapes for your platform pieces, but it makes the grass stand straight up like an actual blade of grass. And it looks so realistic. It looks so good. Um, I've seen people use them who are more so into like the model railroad dioramas are really the only people that I've actually seen use them. I don't think I've ever seen a villager use them before, but they are awesome.
All right. Let's see. Oh, poor Raleigh. Raleigh says Eagles are down 17-0 in the third quarter.
Oh,
It is the NFL, so any given day, a comeback can happen in the fourth quarter. Let's see here. Ronnie says, I did make a fairy Christmas village for my granddaughter.
oh, I bet that
Michelle
was so cute.
Michelle Beasley said, print it out as an inventory of my things by checking it off the year I purchased.
Nice, nice.
Love Disney dogs. I've seen you paint your figurines. Maybe you can paint a duplicate house to look different. Oh yeah,
Yes,
that's good. Just
yes.
changing the elevation. Might be fun to have a bunch of the same houses painted differently, like a neighborhood.
Yeah,
Track
like a
homes.
true track home neighborhood.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
awesome. Let's see. Veronica says, I also do Leprechaun Village for St. Patrick's Day. Might skip it this year. I'd be interested in seeing that. Make sure you put some Notre Dame stuff throughout that village.
As his hat right now that he has on has a four leaf or a clover on it.
All right, let's see here. What do we have? I ordered the same piece with two different online sellers and on the same day. Didn't realize it until they actually came in. It's a family. It's a family around a fire pit roasting marshmallows. Anyone interested? So Judith has an
I think I
extra.
have that one, Judith. I think I have that piece too. It's so super cute.
Let's see. Joan says, "Oh, that just got deleted as soon as I was about to read it." All right, you're good to go. You're over 2 hours.
Ooh, that was fast. Oh my gosh. This time always goes by so fast with you guys. It's absolutely amazing. Well, um, we only have 3 comments on the shirts. So we won't be printing them today. But if moving forward, Monica, Shantae,
keep a list
and
until we get
mom
enough
all
to
said they
produce.
would want one. If I do get enough interest, because I don't want to just print one or two, it's actually cheaper to print them by the bundle. So it would be cheaper for you to purchase. I will let you guys know and reach out to you directly because all of you right now, I do have your email addresses who are on my list. So if we get more interest, I will definitely let you know that I will be printing them. And oh, Twinkie G says she wants a shirt too. Okay. Okay. I think we need like what, 20 or 10 or 20, something like
Yeah, you want a minimum order of at least 20 or 25.
that. Okay. Yeah.
Just
Cause we had priced them even for me to just have more of a wardrobe in like different colors with different design styles. So I would have to take that. Monica said, had so much fun today. Thank you for taking the time and bringing us together. Until next time. Thank you for joining us, Monica. I'm so glad that you did. When doing Village, should you use same brand of houses? No, Reba. Whatever your heart desires. I do mix it up. I have most of my Village is Lemax. But I do have to say, most of my neighborhood houses are actually Department 56 or the O Wells brand. So I have a mixture of different. I have O Wells, I have Department 56, Lemax, and I also have a few Thomas Kincaid. Um, and I think that's it. Oh, and I do have one Walmart piece. So, whatever, I think the biggest thing is just being mindful of the different height variations between the different brands and grouping those together that match in size more than anything. Um, but again, even if you have a short building and a tall building next to each other, that is very realistic in a lot of cities and towns, the way the architecture is. Not everything is always the same height. So I don't think you need to be like so concerned about keeping it brand specific, more so than just what appeals to you. What do you like? Buy what you like, and then you'll love your village.
And over time, like in the real world, old houses get knocked down, new houses get built in
That's right.
communities. So you have a mix and match, and
That's right.
you know it doesn't have to be this perfect. If you want it realistic, you better have some variance.
Exactly.
Right? Fayetta says, "Count me in on a shirt."
Okay.
Let's see. Michelle Beasley says, "Oh well, pieces."
Yes. It's O apostrophe Wells. Wells. They have actually, if you guys remember my that blue house up there. I don't know if you can make it out so far away, but that's an O Wells piece. I get a lot of comments on that blue house, and that's an O apostrophe Wells.
On the corner.
Hmm.
Let's see here.
Usually
Michelle.
20 to 25 for a price cut. Michelle, do you do this?
Milagro says, "I
Malaka
want a
says,
shirt."
I want a shirt. Okay.
Eve says, "Have a safe and very prosperous New Year, everyone.
Yes.
Have a blessed day until we meet again." Veronica hit us with laugh out loud. All right.
All right, guys. So we're going to shut it down, and let me know if you guys want to do this next month. I'm fine with continuing it on for the once a month if it's something that you guys want to continue to do live. And as we're doing different things and working on different projects, we can still come together and share those.
This could also be your support group for post Christmas.
Yes, we can have this is our support group
How you
post
doing?
Christmas.
You okay?
Are you
How's the
having withdrawals?
medication? You know.
Should we meet over a glass of wine? Yeah, so let me know, you guys, and we can keep it up if you want to. Also, comment me on this video or send me an email and let me know. Some of you gave me some really good ideas that you want to discuss for topics for upcoming videos that I can cover for you guys. So if there's an idea that I haven't touched yet, just let me know and I'll write it down on my list of videos to do. Like I know Shantae sent me an email asking if we can discuss different lighting, how to light up your village, especially in those dark spots when you want to put your village on at night. So I have some really great ideas. I'm going to do a video on that in the next week or so. So let me know what you guys want to do. Thank you guys so much for joining me today and hanging out. I had a blast with you guys as always. So until I see you again, stay safe. God bless you. And I will hopefully see you next month.